Well, we're gonna be stronger! Let's go! Greninja, use cut now!
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My Nerdy Treasures here, Jay with my brother Sam.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back.
And today we're gonna open and review the Blokees Greninja. Last time, if you guys were following the channel, we looked at the Charizard from Blokees, which made us really excited about getting into this guy. So right off the bat, same thing. The box is not a collector box. It's a one and done. It's nice, right? I think they did nice with promo images of what the figure's capable of doing. But other than that, that's kind of where it ends.
And here we see some of the figures that have already come out. I think that one's called Miascarada, Charizard, and obviously
Ceruledge.
here we go right here with
Greninja.
Greninja.
Yep.
And here's what it comes with. It comes in its little pieces so we can get to building it up. And I think that makes it kind of dynamic, Jay. It makes it kind of fun. It brings a different style of getting your figures and tinkering with them, which I think is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, this has a nice fun factor. Other than just, opening a box and pulling the figure out. This has, it's just cool to put it together, just to see the figure coming together and kind of getting into that. As far as first impressions go, this is not a model kit, at least for me. It has some parts that are thin, but that's due to the design of the character. That's how Greninja is, like his wrists, and he's got a small abdominal area, and he's lanky, but he's a frog, right? I mean, let's say what he is. He's a frog. But as far as putting him together, he feels like an action figure, like a Build-A-Figure, but it kind of is a step down from Charizard as far as like the premium feel. It's still an action figure. It's still great quality.
I would agree with you. I think the paint is okay. I don't think the paint is great. I'll be honest about that. Our specific Greninja came with a couple of blemishes on his face, and you guys will definitely be able to see him, especially with the pictures once we get to that part of it. The paint application overall on the figure feels, Jay, a little cheap.
Yeah, in some places it's very thin. Maybe an extra coat or two would have been appropriate, especially in the, let's say, the yellow or the beige areas, like on his ears or on his chest and abdominal area.
Yeah, there's some points where you can even see the blue coming through it, through where it should be completely beige.
Yeah, it's not very apparent, but what happens is, at least for us, Charizard was such a great quality figure that it kind of maybe set us up to expect that from Greninja.
Yeah, I would agree. He was just so premium.
Yeah, he was so great.
In my opinion, he was just so premium.
But kind of getting back into Greninja, as far as like what the figure needs to be able to do with, let's say, articulation goes, he can do anything that you need him to do. The figures, both this one and Charizard, come with these nice butterfly joints that are kind of hidden, but you can move the shoulders back and forth, up and down. They can drop, go up and down. They're not very, you can't see them, but it's designed to hide them in a way that it makes the sculpt look very natural. His legs, obviously, as you guys can see, can move basically any way that you want them to because they're on a ball peg. So they did a great job with that. The joint on the knee, it looks like a single joint, but what happens is the back of the knee collapses into the thigh. So it looks like a single joint, but it acts like a double joint. And that's where I think that's where they did a really good job with the engineering, which is surprising because of the price. This guy's like less than $25.
Yeah, and plus what he comes with, I will say that, so his ears and his hands, they do feel very 2D, very plasticky. They don't feel that premium material
They're definitely
that
light.
you got through with Charizard. and some parts of this figure feel pretty nice, right? As far as the quality of the figure. So here we can see some of the accessories that it comes with, and here's where we come up to the point where I say these accessories do feel as if they came with a model kit figure.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, they have a nice feel to them. They're not cheap. They're not brittle. They're not gonna be, you know, bending. So, you know, as far as the accessories go, they're good quality.
Yeah.
They're not a bad quality, and you're gonna get to do the poses you want with these accessories.
Yeah, and due to the design of the character, they couldn't add, let's say, a wrist or an ankle. So what they did was they made his legs and hands swappable and put them in a position fixed, so that if you want him to be moving one way or another, you just swap the hands and the feet out. And the way they engineered the way that he holds, let's say, the blade or the water shuriken, they did it really, really well. They were very clever in using pegs that go into the blade, so the blade is not going to fall and the water shuriken is not going to fall. So we did a nice little close-up to kind of show you guys how that looks. And now we're taking a look at the display base, which, if you guys have been following us for any time, you'll know that we're huge fans of stuff like this.
Yeah, I think it just brings the figure to a whole, when you can have a display base with, you know, the accessories, that those water motions, and once you put them in there, it really brings this figure to life, and it raises the quality of the figure. And like we always say, bang for your buck. You're paying $25 for this figure. Is he a premium figure? No, but you're getting a lot with this guy. And you're getting a standard, good quality figure. You're going to be able to pose him. He's not falling apart on us. I think it was a good workaround, what they did with the fixed hands and ankles and feet, I guess. I don't know. I kind of prefer if we would have been able to have a ball joint there, but, you know, it's a give and take, you know.
Okay, I disagree with that, because I think they would have had to have broken the sculpt up too much. And then if you guys can see, this is kind of what I'm talking about. You can see that at the base of his ankle, he has a hinge, ball and a hinge, I believe. And, you know, it gets bulky. So
and this is the Jazzwares, by the way.
This is the Jazzwares. So I think the way that they engineered this one is by far superior and cheaper. If not, I think it's like the Jazzwares is maybe somewhere in the same price point, but I think with this one, the quality and the articulation is definitely better. The design is better. The tongue is not articulated, but they designed it in a way that it looks if it looks good if it's in a vanilla pose, if he's just, you know, standing, or if he's moving. So as far as, you know, like final
would have been
thoughts.
cool, just to like interrupt you real quick.
What?
If they would have put a little bit of a wire in that tongue.
Yep.
So you could kind of move it if you want to.
That would have been a nice
Is it
feature.
necessary? No, I don't think it's necessary. He still looks fantastic.
Yeah, he really does.
I'm just going to interrupt you there. Go ahead.
No, good. Yeah, I would say, you know, final thoughts. What would you say? Was this a good pickup?
I think it's a fantastic pickup. Again, we always go back to it, man. What's the price point? What are we getting for it?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to pose this guy? And how is he going to scale to the other figures? As you guys can see here, he looks fantastic in his Pokemon battle with Charizard. And yeah, man, I'm in love with these Blokees figures, and I hope, again, we get down to doing the 151. And Blokees, you ever see our videos, which I'm sure you do with our 30 followers, yeah, man, we're big fans. And I think a lot of people, once they get these in their hands, will also become fans of Blokees.
Yeah, if you guys like action figures and you like Pokemon and you've been waiting for something, this is, I think, what you've been waiting for. You're not going to break the bank. And you're going to get something that you had a lot of fun putting together and just having on the shelf. And, you know, just displaying it. I think this is the fun part of collecting. So, you know,
I'm not sure if you mentioned with standing him on his own is not possible.
Yeah, so there is a drawback, and that's where, like, my final thoughts are at. You shouldn't, I believe, you should not have to use a stand to stand a figure just in a vanilla pose. He cannot stand because of the design. So I think if they were going to give us swappable feet, they could have included feet that can stand on their own. I think that would have been a good option. instead of having to use the display base.
Good take.
So with that, it's a no-brainer, guys, at least for us. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to pick them up? Who would you guys want to see that Blokees, tackles next? And what do you guys think about them in general? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's review, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and we will catch you guys on the next one.